What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Accounting Flow podcast brought to you by Financial Sense. This podcast is dedicated to taking a deep dive into accounting firm workflow and processes. Each episode, we will spend 20 minutes interviewing actual accounting firm owners just like you, uncovering specific processes that firm owners and operators encounter on a daily basis and discuss ways to improve them. Let's go. And welcome to another episode of Accounting Flow. I'm your host, Roman Villard, and today I'm super excited to jump into a conversation on transaction automation, e-commerce accounting, and with us we have Michael Astreiko, founder and CEO of Synder. Michael, thanks for joining.
Happy to be here. Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you, Roman, to inviting me. Yep, and excited to join this conversation.
Yeah, so we're gonna hopefully get all of the answers from you on automating heavy volume transactions and learning more about how Synder can support those initiatives. First, I want to understand how you started Synder, kind of the origination story
Yeah,
of the company.
yeah, amazing. It's really interesting because I'm not an accountant. I'm not a bookkeeper. I'm a business owner. I'm a technical guy, just a technical guy. But like 5 years ago, I was doing managing a business with small apps that were like small SaaS apps, also some of them in accounting space, and they were accepting PayPal and Stripe, and it was our own problem. Okay, we have PayPal, Stripe data, and we have QuickBooks Online. How can we bring this data to QuickBooks Online in a way that then I can go to QuickBooks Online as a business owner and just understand what plans across channels, across products are selling better, what are the products that are selling better, like a bit more information about how's everything going. And we didn't find any kind of solution, and we created Synder for ourselves, first of all, just to do our own job. And then we figured out, okay, we have several apps, let's make this app as well, like make it, launch it. And we figured out that, okay, there are other SaaS businesses that want to use it. And then we started adding more platforms because people were saying, okay, we use also Square. Okay, we added Square. Then we got clients who use Square POS terminals. Then we started like, okay, wow, now interesting. And we figured out that this app started growing much better than everything else that we had before, much faster. And we started, okay, let's skip everything else, focus on Synder, and let's see what's happening next. And then COVID happened, in 2020, and all our, not all, but like 90% of our Square POS clients, hairdressers, barbers, left. I mean, gone. Yeah, like for a year, they're gone. And we were sitting with my co-founder, saying like, what should we do? Where should we go? Like, let's check it out. Okay, online, people buying online. Let's see what's in the e-commerce space. How they doing it there? Yeah, but we start going to e-commerce, and we figured out the problem there is much higher and much more complex. And we can talk about this a bit later. And like, amount of work that accountants and bookkeepers have to do there is much more higher. And we start working with this industry, and then adding more and more integrations, and doing this. Our bread and butter was always about automating people lives, automating workflows, remove the complexity. We start working with accounting firms, we start talking with them. Our product team from that moment till today have like several advisors in different accounting firms, from very small ones with like 5 bookkeepers to big ones like Cohen Reisnick or Baker Tilly or whatever. Elliot Davis. We talk to them as well to understand their needs and how they see future, and what are the key pain points to automate and to help and to remove from just manual work. So the goal of the company was always, we designed this motto: machine accuracy, human approach. And it was like, we want to automate it, but from day one, we also had a very good support and success team who talk to you always. Because without human approach, like just doing machine accuracy, it's not good enough. It's not good enough in this industry. I think you need to have both. So this is the story, I think, from a nutshell.
Yeah, that's great. And so I'm interested on a few points there. It sounds like at first you went directly to these retail shops, these companies,
Yeah,
and you didn't initially go through partners. Is that correct?
yeah, this is correct. We went through marketplaces, and
Hmm.
appears that like QuickBooks Marketplace, Zero Marketplace, yep, then Shopify Marketplace, of course. It appears that like primarily business owners or business managers were start using us.
Yeah.
But then our like biggest churn happened when why are you churning? Because I hired an accountant and they don't know about you.
Mm.
Well,
Ah.
okay, Google. Let's talk about this more.
Yeah.
And because we also had like already from day one, we already have like bookkeepers and accountants, but it was not our majority of users yet, and they were
Hmm.
not focused of us. We started saying, okay, let's business owners, great guys, you can use this completely no question, but let's talk to accountants, understand what they want in this
Yeah.
software, because we understand that one client is great, but one accounting firm, like it's just a business, one accounting firm can bring multiple clients to your software, and
Hmm.
it's much better just economically speaking. Yep, so it's
Yeah. And
great stuff.
that's a really great unlock for you and your business trying
Yeah,
to understand like what's the right target market to be selling into. And I'm sure at the same time, COVID happened, you had a lot of churn on those Square accounts like
yeah,
you
yeah,
said.
yeah,
And so and the accounting conference scene all closes down. There's a lot of
yeah.
volatility. What were you feeling at that point in time? Were you nervous? Were you anxious? Like, what emotions were going
Uh,
through your head
I guess
in
it was only
2020?
the beginning of our business, to be honest. So we launched in
Right.
2019. So it was only
Yeah.
the beginning. And it was, I cannot say I was nervous because we were just in the beginning of the path. And for us, it was what other, I mean, we didn't expect it will grow so fast anyway. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, let's do, how can we use this opportunity or like bad situation? Let's make it better for us. And without COVID, it can happen that we will just focus still on just SaaS businesses. But with COVID,
Mhm.
we refocus to e-commerce, and it's like
Yeah.
again, if something going away, you start thinking about what are the other ways to fill the gap. Yep, how
Yeah.
can you do it? I cannot say it was so much critical at that moment for us just because we were in the beginning of the past with just few people of us. It's
Yeah.
like it didn't work. Okay, if it didn't work, then it didn't work. Right now, I would say COVID would change much more different for us because the scale of the business and like the, the problems it could cause because you have people,
Right.
they have families and everything. At that moment, it was
Mhm.
still like just in the beginning of the past. So it was not so critical.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to me to hear, the success stories and things that came out of COVID that were highly
Yeah,
unexpected, like potentially e-commerce launching, you finding a good channel in the accounting sector, and now we get to see Synder proudly at many of the accounting conferences that we go to. Um,
yeah,
I think there's still a really large segment of accounting firm owners who are just get nervous about automation and nervous in external tools to help with high volume transactions and things like that they're accustomed to exporting into Excel and manipulating and then creating a journal entry in QuickBooks. And so, can you help me understand? What are the inflection points? What are those points in time in which an accounting firm owner should say, "Okay, I should start evaluating utilizing a tool like Cinder for my high volume, potentially e-commerce clients"?
yeah. Great question. It's like I would say there are two key points. First key point, when I would suggest to do it when you onboard a new client, of course, because it's much easier to start using something new when you're doing new client onboarding.
Sure.
Second key point would be when you in this tax season, like right now, like from January to April, when you need to do sometimes you need to do bookkeeping for all last year, maybe for past couple of years, and again we I mean we suggest it also in the middle of the year, but yeah, I think this is the two main key areas when it's the best time to start with new technology. And again, we totally understand that it's very important for accounting firm to bring only solutions that they can trust. And this is why try with one client, try with second client, we're totally fine. We have in our side, we have a success team that will work with you, like with first client, with second client. Usually after the second client, you just a common Slack channel and you can communicate if there is any question. But after second, you already know how to set up, because setup can be a tricky one. I can tell you, like, because it's people sometimes they have questions like, you don't do it. No, we do it. It's settings. It's complex settings. We design it for accountants and for different use cases, so it's possible to do. Why? Answering question why, I have a very good one of our clients had a very good interview just this week, and there was one line that we just discussed in a common company meeting. Reconciliation with Synder is faster than downloading of statement. It was like it's a gold mine. Like this phrase, just once this phrase, it's a gold mine. And this his bookkeeping firm is doing primarily Stripe and PayPal transactions, and it's thousands of transactions of businesses. So
Yeah. So two inflection points for a firm to think about onboarding a tool like Synder. So that's during the onboarding of a new client, and then when there's a large amount of cleanup or catch-up work that needs to be done and needs to be reconciled. So how about for existing clients? Say I've got a large book of e-commerce companies that right now I'm using very manual processes to reconcile their revenue. At what point in like a client life cycle would you say to me as the accountant, okay, this many transactions or this much in revenue or these many channels, like Synder could be a really good tool for helping you in your efficiency?
I think every time the firm going through a process that they review how much hours they spent on different kind of work, it's a good point to automate it. Again, it's because for I will give you it's like many companies in the industry saying we will save you 100 hours per month per week. It's like it's a buzzword, and we did just an analysis, and it's vary. It's vary a lot. It's not something you can have. It's like a temperature in the hospital, And I think firm owners or bookkeepers or whoever doing this job, and they can do it in offshoring, of course, totally clear, and we see this picture. But in any case, calculate amount of time you spend in there, and amount of time after happening afterwards. Because once you've done this, there will be errors, and you need to work with them. How much hours you spend there, and just give it a try. We have a free trial, almost with no limits, and we can extend it for you. And what we see, because complexity is like, imagine just simple e-commerce. You have Shopify store, you have Amazon store, you have eBay store. You sell across all of them. And in your Shopify store, you accept Amazon Pay and PayPal and Shopify payment, because you want to have variety. And at the end of the month, you have all these Excel spreadsheets from different platforms. And now you have single order paid by two payment methods, because Shopify allows this as well. And how you reconcile it? I mean, again, it's still possible. It's still possible to do manually. But if it's like 10 orders, maybe even 100 orders, it's fine in a month. But if it's 1,000, it doesn't work. It just doesn't scale. And amount of time is just enormous. And it's for one client, it can be 2 hours per week. For another, it will be 100 hours per month. And we have such clients.
And so you mentioned transaction volume there, and you said, maybe if it's tens or hundreds, it may be okay to do it the way that you're doing it. Do you see that there's a general revenue threshold or a volume threshold where you say, okay, Synder makes a lot of sense for you?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, it's not for everyone. Again, if you have a great farming business that sell seeds and have 3 checks in a month, each check 50,000 K, it's fine. It's totally fine, but there is no way of Synder. Synder is always when you have online or POS transactions. And if you have, it's like hundreds and thousands. For e-commerce, we're saying the best fit, your client sell across 3 different channels minimum. So primarily it's Shopify, eBay, Amazon, it can be Etsy, it can be BigCommerce, it can be WooCommerce, Walmart, whatever. But once you have 3 Shopify channels, that means that you will have at least 3 to 5 payment methods. Good luck. So I mean, this is a point. You need to start use technology, because otherwise you're in a bad situation. If it's SaaS business, for example, it's a bit different story. We will count, because we also do in revenue recognition for primarily B2C SaaS businesses. Yep, we want to see and say like 1,000 subscriptions. Once your client have 1,000 subscriptions, there is a complexity, and to do revenue recognition yourself, again, because upgrades, downgrades, cancellations happening during the month, it will be again a tricky one to do it on yourself with Excel spreadsheet. So yeah, and this is, I would say these are main thresholds. It depends on industry. It depends on industry.
Okay. So let's take an example in the e-commerce space, knowing that generally, in order to start looking at and thinking about efficiency tools and automation tools, you want to have 3 different payment sources, and you want to have a transaction volume that necessitates maybe a larger scale of reconciling efforts for the accountant. Let's take the example of what happens when an accountant is going to close the month with Synder and starting to reconcile these payment methods into a financial reporting package. Can you just walk me through what that process should look like if it's automated really well?
Yeah, it's all about settings and configuration of Synder, because it all depends on what you want. First of all, do you want to bring all customer data to QuickBooks, for example? If you don't, then skip it. Do you want to do it on daily journal entries, or do you want to have for each order invoice or sales receipt inside QuickBooks Online, for example? It's also configurable. We work in both modes. You can have just daily summaries, and we will create each daily summary for each shopping cart or payment method. Yeah. Or we can have a per transaction thing, and you will have on transaction level details inside QuickBooks. Again, sometimes you need this level of details for valuations of the companies. They want to have customer report as well there. So this happens as well. And it's all about settings and configuration that takes it can take time. It can take like few hours with our specialist, because again, it's all about how you want to have it and how you want to connect it. Who should be the source of truth, like Shopify data, like QuickBooks data, or like maybe from PayPal data should be the main source of truth. Once it's configured, done, it's like you don't need to do anything. It's just happening every hour, every day, depends again on your settings, on your plan. And it's going there. And then reconciliation process is just, again, it varies from platform to platform, because in Stripe, you can reconcile with payouts or with balances. In Amazon, you will reconcile with payouts. Again, it varies. Depends on how you can reconcile it. What will be the number to compare in this particular platform, and there will be differences. This is why I'm saying settings and initial conversation is very important, because we will show you how to do it in the right way and what is the right number. I mean, I can tell you that Shopify report, for example, it's an accrual-based report, but when you click numbers, it starts showing you cash-based amount. So it's like, okay, guys, we have a problem here. Yeah. So yeah, but once it's set up and you know how to do reconciliation, done. It's just at the end of the month, you go to QuickBooks, you go to clearing account that we create for each payment method and each shopping cart. We create a separate payment account. Again, you can configure it. You can have all for one. It's up to you. We recommend doing this way, but it's not limited. Yeah, it's up to you how you prefer to work with your clients, and then just reconcile it with the right number in external platform, and done. It's just a closing of, as like this client said, just easier as closing statements. And again, I'm not promoting Synder unless I'm using it for ourselves. We use Synder for our
Right.
own
I hope
Stripe.
so.
Yeah, exactly. And this is my like every month, end of month routine as well. Like click one button, reconcile, done. Go to the next one. So
So
nothing
it
else.
sounds like it's almost a daily reconciliation effort to where I should be able to go into QuickBooks and see what my revenue is. I should be able to go into my Stripe account. And if my settings are set up correctly, it should be that daily reconciliation to where
Yeah,
at the end of the month, then I'm really just comparing two balances because there
yes,
is that
yeah,
daily
yeah,
automation of
exactly,
transactional
exactly,
detail.
exactly, exactly. This is what I'm doing every like on the first day of every month. I'm going to Stripe, open balances, getting last put in like correct time zone. Yeah, setting amount of on the last day and put it to QuickBooks and just click on this green finish button. Done.
Yeah. So, what I'm curious about on the e-commerce side of things, one of the biggest challenges there is ensuring that inventory is relieved into cost of goods sold really well and matching those up with the sales. How are we ensuring that we can track margins, maybe by SKU or by category? Does Cinder support that as well?
Yes, yes, yes. And it's like you just described. It can be by SKU. If it's a SKU platform, it can be by product catalog. For example, in Square, they recently released catalogs, and you can do it by catalogs. It depends on the e-commerce platform. In Amazon, it will be by SKUs, by SKU level, yeah. And in Shopify, it can be a bit different, but still, it's part of you how you manage cogs. We will take these cogs like and product prices, for example, from Shopify, where we can have this information. But in many platforms, we don't have this information, and
Right.
we have inside Cinder there's a products and service products tab, and you can upload a list of your products
Got
with
it.
a date from what date we need to apply these prices of the product so that cogs will be reflected correct. It's again, it's a problem. It will require additional work, manual work from your side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it is what it is. You can sometimes you just have no access to this external platform to get it somewhere.
Yeah.
We're we're doing pretty good integration, for example, with also inventory management platforms like Sin7,
Mm,
and
okay.
we work and combine together so that two platforms share the same data layer, and you manage inventory properly in Sin7, and Cinder is responsible for doing all reconciliation of payments of money flow. Yeah,
Mm.
but it's
That,
a different story.
Yeah, that's really that's interesting to me because if you're selling omni-channel and you also have Cinder, that's maybe three or four different places that you could be inputting SKU level data on your costs. And so
Yeah, but this
the
is what we avoid in this. It's don't do this way. Yep, and this is not what we're suggesting to do it. We're doing it inside Cinder only if you don't use any kind of third party. We do have clients who use inventory management in QuickBooks. We do have
yeah.
clients who do inventory management in Excel spreadsheet. So it's also like a way of doing this. So yep, we're
Mhm.
not inventory management platform. This is the main point.
Right.
We're about accounting and reconciliation. We can bring some inventory data if we have them. We do
Right.
allow it because it was requested, yet to, like you said, to have this cox calculated properly. But if you want, if you inventory and like if you want to have proper inventory management solution, it should be something different. Yep, it should be like
Yeah.
inventory management platform, and you need to do it there, and it's the best way to do it there. And Cinder will responsible only for money flow and for reconciliation of your bank
Yeah.
accounts and platforms and shopping carts at the end of the day.
Totally, totally. And I see the immense value in capturing the sales, the cash, the reconciliation side of it. I also want to make sure that COGS data is
Yeah,
appropriately being relieved, right? The inventory
yeah,
is appropriately being relieved. And what we see often with e-commerce companies is that for the same SKU, they might have three different SKU
yeah,
numbers for the
yeah,
same product,
yeah.
and they may have
We
different
need to, yeah,
costs and
we have a
different
product mapping
systems.
for this reason. Yeah, for each
Yeah,
platform, we can have a product mapping between this one and the final one, like with QuickBooks, like primarily
Yeah.
if you think about this. So inside Synder, you can do this product mapping per platform. Again, this is why I'm saying it's settings. It's part of settings call. It's part of your, like, there is no law how you need to do it. And some businesses, they will have Shopify, Amazon, and eBay, and they will have one SKU everywhere. Done. Amazing business. We
Right.
love you guys. Others will have 3 different, and there will be others. They will have like 2 of them will have one SKU, and this one will different, just because historically it was done this way, and you cannot change it. So totally fine. Again, this is part of settings, and you have to do it prior to start the work.
And this is where, utilizing a system like Sin7 to manage all of that really well, to ensure consistency that then is able to be like flow into Synder, makes our lives as accountants much easier. But to your point, there are the system settings that as accountants we need to make sure are operating really, really well and make sense for the business. And then there's the data cleansing side of it to ensure that the SKU data is appropriate and consistent across all the channels, and that the cogs data is good. And so as accountants, there's a lot of work that we need to do to ensure that our clients are set up appropriately to get the most out of a system like Synder.
And like you described, it's your expertise. I would say it's accountant expertise, and this is what you can sell much more higher rather than doing manual reconciliation work. And all this bookkeeping work. This is what we're trying to promote. It's you still can do it manually, but instead, it's like we have clients who saying, you know what, we use Synder also for Etsy shop, and you can just try this because it's the same tool. We don't charge additionally for additional sales channel. Just try it. You just connect to the same app. We connect it to the same app. We do it. For us, it's no additional work. But for you, it can be an additional channel of selling. Or Walmart, it's a new one. It's increasing right now a lot in states, and it's try it because we know that we can utilize it the same way as everything else. Just sell the same SKUs, make it easier for everyone. And this is advisory level that you can do it, and that you can continue to use the same tool set. You don't need to do something additional. And the most important for client, you're saying no additional cost for you. It will be the same tool set, but it can be a challenge for you to increase your sales. Why not? Why not try it?
So I want to go back to maybe it was a slogan or mission statement that you said earlier with machines and humans. Can you state that again?
Machine accuracy and human approach.
Machine accuracy and human approach. I love that because I think a lot of the app partners, the tech ecosystem for accountants, maybe skip the human approach side, and it's so important. And it sounds like you guys have focused a lot on ensuring that the customer success, the onboarding functionalities are really, really smooth, because that is so critical to a firm's workflow and adopting that tool.
And we want this. We want this conversation, and this is what we're telling to all our accounting partners. We're technical guys. Tell us your pains. We are here to solve them. And again, it's an honest game. Just to be clear, we don't want to do everything you will ask about you, but we will be very transparent and answer multiple requests, same requests from different accounting firms, and we will prioritize this task higher. If it's something unique for your firm, it can take like some time, I would say, because we have priorities. We're still not a huge company, but a small one, and it will take time. But our product team work directly also with accountants, and like our success team bring all this feedback on a weekly basis for our product team as well, in addition to this. So it's super, and I can tell you, every person in our product team, they're with Synder for the last 4 years at least, and they grow up from being support, being success, and now they're part of product. So they know what clients want, and they understand how to ask the right questions. And again, it's super important to communicate. This is, again, it's no-brainer for us, and I think for accountants, as well. It's everyone love it, and we're just happy on this. And again, it's great to hear feedback after this conversation. So yeah.
Perfect. I think that's a great place to wrap it. I just love the connection that you're building between the technology piece and the human piece, while also really leaning into automation and making our lives easier through building great product. So, if folks want to find you, how can they find you both online? How can they contact you? And then, what events are you going to be at this year?
Yeah, this year, Scaling Your Highs for sure. Sage Transform happening next week. We just released integration with Sage Intact. It's like also very interesting for us. Scaling Your Highs, QuickBooks Connect, ZeroCon, everything that happened in the States. I mean, we're trying to participate. There will be also conference in Toronto. We have people there also join us there. So, but yeah, primarily this 3 conference, Digital CPA as well.
Yeah.
Engage for sure. I mean, I think I named 5 the biggest
Almost all
ones.
of them.
Yeah, no, 5 biggest one. And also, it's interesting to see how you use Synder. Tell us again, because we figured out that some of our clients, for example, they use Synder for hospitality
Sure.
and like non-profits, just because like they have lots of donations in Stripe, PayPal,
Mhm.
and they already familiar with the tool. It's all about online, and hospitality is Square POS. It's also there. Why not use the same? And we're want to hear this, like what industries we're serving but we don't know. Tell us,
Yeah.
and go to our booth and let's talk about this. We're very happy to do it.
Perfect. So if people have feedback, reach out to Michael. And how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, it's
Or
for
find
me
your
it's
team?
just michael@synder.com, syndr.com. Just write me directly. I'm the one who answering my emails, nobody else managing it. And yeah, for the LinkedIn is the same. Just LinkedIn Michael Astreiko in one word, and you will find me.
Perfect. And there will be links to contact information in the show notes. And if you want to learn more, you can go to Synder, SYNDER.com. Michael, thanks for joining us today. That was fun.
I appreciate it, Roman. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Cool. For listening in today. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to share and write a review. This is going to help other firm owners just like you find our podcast and get insights into how to grow their firm. Stay tuned.